So I'm here to talk about scatter radiation. Scatter radiation, when we think about it, we can think down to the atom itself and when a photon interacts with it. We know that the atom itself has a nucleus and then there's outer shells. Those are the valence shells. You've got an inner layer with 2 electrons, and then it goes 8 and 8 and then more later. But for this purpose, I'm only going to try to demonstrate some of the small stuff, and we can kind of see what happens. So what happens is when you're taking an X-ray with pretty low kVp, you're going to be taking the X-ray, the electrons within our body are going to somewhat react to that. So for the scatter radiation that I'm going to be talking about, we will see that when a photon interacts with it, that we're only dealing with the valence shell of the atom, so only the outside. This does not interact with the nucleus. It's not really interacting with too much else. Let's focus on one electron on the outside, and hopefully my demonstration will be pretty good to figure out what's going to show what's going to happen. But overall, what we're going to see is the photon coming in. It's going to react with an electron. It's going to excite the atom, and then it's going to release the photon energy in a different direction. So photon in, exciting the atom, electrons, you're just going to see that happen, and then it's going to release that photon energy back out. The way I'm going to describe it is with paint art. If you haven't seen this before, it looks kind of fun. I put 2 little drops of paint on a little tiny canvas and attached it to a drill gun. Let's see what happens. So in this representation, we're going to see a photon come in, and we're not seeing the atom change. We're not removing any of the electrons, so we're not causing ionization here. Instead, it's releasing energy in different directions. So whenever that photon comes in, we've hit it, we've gone in a different direction. Now, let's use a different color, because we like this, and this right here is kind of fun. So we did that shell. Why don't we do another shell? We all know the shells have about 8, so why don't we just make another ring here? So now I got a big ring. This is the second shell. Why don't we see what happens whenever a photon comes in with this one? Photon came in contact. So it comes in and it's hitting that electron, and then it's dispersing outward. This is scatter radiation. This is what's happening. So it's interacting with our body, not just one atom. This is all of our atoms in our entire body. So I'm not representing just one here. I'm trying to represent as much as I can. One more color, why not? Got to get that outer ring on there, right? This one's going to be messy. Let's give it a shot. Well, it fell, it dropped. I've got paint scattered everywhere. Hopefully this helps demonstrate scatter radiation. Photon energy coming in contact with the electrons, and the whole atom gets excited. So the whole thing becomes excited. We're not losing the electrons, they're not going anywhere. You can see that the color's still there, the color representing the electrons. Every area of it is being excited and shooting off those photons in a different direction. Hope this helps.